We are live. Hello, welcome back everybody. Thank you for choosing to spend your mornings with us during your quarantine. We are here every weekday at 11 a.m. Pacific, and to celebrate our Corona days, as we've been calling them. Corona days. It's Thanksgiving week for us, so we're doing a maple pumpkin pie for my celebrations cookbook. It's gluten-free and dairy-free. Thankfully, I actually already had a disc of my pie crust made up in the freezer. Anytime I'm making a pie, I always double up and just stick one in the freezer so that I have one available when I need it. I just think it's easier, and grain-free doughs usually freeze pretty easily. So I found this guy in the depths of my freezer and was excited that we could cut one thing off of our list. All right, so I'm gonna roll this out. Yeah, you guys can help, but hold on, let me just get it started because it's a little bit cold.
I like cold more.
You like cold?
I'm very strong.
All right, why don't you start rolling this, bud? And Kezzy and I are going to start making our filling. So one thing I realized, let's keep that out of our mouth and our face. One thing I realized is that I have 0 pie plates here for some reason. I think I must have taken them over to my office. So we're going to make it in a little bit of a tart pan today, which means I'm going to have extra filling, which is 100% okay with me because it's my favorite part anyways. And a lot of times I'll double up the filling recipe and double the filling recipe so that I can put some of it in just ramekins without the crust and bake it and have it. That looks great. Can you go this way now? I like to have it in the fridge as like a custard to eat in the mornings. It's so delicious. So we're gonna get started with our filling. Okay, you ready to help me, Missy? Yep, okay. I need a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. If for some reason you have fresh pumpkin, which you probably don't right now, you can use 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, Mommy needs it splattered at you. It's just pumpkin, it's okay. I love using fresh pumpkin in this, but my only caution is to make sure that it's not too runny. Sometimes fresh pumpkin can be a little bit on the watery side and it's not quite as thick as your canned. So if that's the case, just let it sit in a colander for an hour or so, like a fine mesh strainer, and some of the liquid will kind of come off on the bottom, and that'll just help your pumpkin pie set up a little bit better.
Why get it a lot, Mom?
Well, we need the whole can. Oop, not too hard, bud. Not too hard. All right. Also, if you're buying canned, just make sure it's 100% pumpkin puree. You don't want pumpkin pie filling because that'll have spices and other things already in it.
I need to mix it.
Yeah, so I need you to help me with this, little love.
I didn't mix that.
Hold this, yep, hold this like this. We're going to do a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. That's what I love about this filling, is that it's naturally sweetened with maple, but I also just feel like maple and pumpkin go so well together, and all of the spices that are in this as well. Okay, go ahead.
Can I mix it,
Hold
Mom?
on, yeah, you can mix it, just a sec. All right, Dad, are there any questions? People we can say hello to? Yeah, well, hold on, I just don't want to get. Okay.
Marissa's asking what your favorite coffee maker is.
Oh, I don't know if they can see it back there. I love our Mocha Master. That's what that is in the background there. I don't know if you can see it.
She's on Instagram.
Oh, you can't see it because it's tight. Okay, yeah, so the Mocha Master. Okay, Easton, oh, ow. Let's stop there for a second and see where we're at. That's okay. Okay, go ahead and start mixing that, honey.
I need you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this, you need me to not. Okay, so while you mix that, Kez, I'm going to put in 3 eggs.
Yeah. Is this good, Mom?
That's pretty good, buddy. You could probably go a little further over this way. You keep getting it rolled out for us, okay? Maybe start right here and roll down this way, because this is starting to get really thin and this is still really thick. All right, so 3 full eggs. Just back in there.
Big lady's asking, where do you buy your maple syrup?
So this big jug is from Tropical Traditions. I actually buy quite a few things from them. I love their palm shortening. I love their coconut flour. They carry some other things too. That's where that is from. Otherwise, sorry, I'm just grabbing a towel for my hands. Otherwise, I love the brand Coombs family. It's from Vermont. It's really delicious.
I want that.
What's what?
That.
Okay, Easton, I think you've fully, I'll look at it in just a second. Okay, let's leave it like that.
So, Elena's asking, how do you make gluten-free
So the recipe's in the book. I also have a couple recipes on my blog, but this one is almond flour and coconut flour based. And I like to do it in a food processor just because you want to keep the chunks. Okay, let's stop working the dough. We don't want to work it too much. It keeps the chunks of the palm shortening slightly larger so that as it bakes, it kind of keeps it a little bit more on the flaky side. I'm hesitant to call it flaky because grain-free pie doughs are never really flaky per se, but close enough. Oh yeah, we're gonna use that for our egg wash. Let's leave that for now. Okay, so this calls for a half a cup of coconut milk, but I happen to have my vanilla creamer. Yep, hold this just like this. The vanilla creamer I made the other day, that's a mix of coconut milk and cashew milk. And it's already got such a great vanilla flavor that I thought we'd use that in this instead, and only just because I didn't really want to open a can of coconut milk for only the half, so I figured, why not use this instead? I think it'll taste delicious. Okay, mix that up, girly. Okay, and then I give you a mix of spices, so cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and cardamom. Hold on, and lemon zest. Good job. But I'm just gonna take the easy route today and use my favorite pumpkin pie spice, which is actually from Trader Joe's. And I'm gonna do 1, 2, let's see, a tablespoon. And then I'm also just gonna add my own bit of cardamom because I love that in this. It's so different, and that's not in, oh, actually there is cardamom in here. Ha, just kidding, we don't have to do anything. Okay, go ahead and mix that in, sweetie.
So Stacy's asking, are you planting a garden? So what do you plant?
Oh, it's a good question. Okay, sorry, just a pinch of salt. So are we planting a garden this year, and what are we planting? We did plant seeds. And we've been growing them in our laundry room, actually, in little starters. We just have not gotten around to putting them into the ground. Our garden beds at the new house here are kind of far away from the kitchen. They're up this big hill that we don't really go up very often. So I'm been hesitant to plant up there because I'm afraid that I won't be able to care for them enough. But I think we're going to. We just need to get the energy to do it. It's been very warm, so we can totally do it now. But usually we just plant tomatoes, zucchini, spaghetti squash. Okay, you gotta stop. That's enough. That's enough. What else have we planted, you guys? Oh, cucumbers. My kids love cucumbers, so we always do cucumbers. I'm trying to think what else.
My God, the smell.
I think that might be it. Oh, artichokes. Peppers. I did shishito peppers this time. My kids love artichokes. I'll take a picture of it and put it on my stories because I can't exactly remember what else we did. Okay, so Easton has fully worked our dough here. Let me see. Okay, hold on. I need to get this a lot thinner.
So your mom's asking, who's eating all this food?
Oh, we are, obviously. It'll make leftovers for many, many days. Okay, hold on a second. I'm not making like the full Thanksgiving feast. I posted it on my stories actually this morning what we're making. I'm making kind of like a truncated version of it, just kind of the things that Ryan loves most and that my kids love most. So we're not making it all, but some of the favorites. I found a freezer or a turkey in my freezer just last week when I was looking for meats, and it was an extra one that I had hoped to have made over Thanksgiving, but was still not feeling well enough, and so I never did it. So making good use out of it. Okay, you guys are gonna get to help me cut our little shapes. So we are going to put, what honey? This looks a little bit thick. It's up here, sweetie, I'll give it to you, just a sec. I just wanna make sure that there wasn't anything I missed. No, I guess that's right. Okay, so this is our pumpkin filling. Hey, stop, or you're gonna go out, please, okay? I told you you're gonna take turns, just a second, okay, just a second. Let me do this first. All right, so the nice thing about the pie crust is you really don't, hold on, you guys wait, both of you wait. You don't have to roll them out. A lot of the recipes that I have in here, hold on, this needs to go in here first. The recipes that I have in here for you guys, a lot of them just have you push it into the pie plate, which is what I'm gonna end up doing anyways, because usually these are, like, you're not gonna be able to roll this and unroll it with grain-free doughs. That's just not gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do is push this like this. Even though my bottom's gonna fall out, it's gonna be a little harder than when I use my normal pie plate, but that's all right. And we're going to flip over, okay? And then we'll peel off our parchment, and it's going to break, and it's totally fine, and you just use your fingers and push it back together. What are you so excited about? And then obviously I have way too much dough for this tart shell, which is great because my kids will be thrilled to be able to cut out all of their little shapes. So one suggestion I have is, hold on you guys. Oh, Easton worked this dough a little too hard. It's not coming off of our parchment. It's not coming off of our parchment very well because he used his hands a lot and over-rolled and over-pounded it. That's okay. It'll be fine. I would just suggest having it be a little bit colder so that it doesn't stick. Yeah, we're having trouble here. All right, we're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off and we will use our hands to fix any problems that arise. Okay, hold on you guys. So, yeah, we're gonna re-roll out this and you're gonna get to cut our shapes. So what I suggest doing is baking your shapes separately. Don't try to put your filling in and bake them on top. They'll sink straight to the bottom. Yes, you guys are both gonna get to help just a second. I just suggest putting them on a lined cookie sheet and brushing them with your egg wash and baking them when you bake your crust. And then you can just lay them gently on top once your filling has chilled, cooked and chilled. Okay, so I am just gonna free-form this. Okay, that's enough. No. No, we're not here. You know what, listen, you get down, get off the counter. You don't push into my crust. Here, I'm gonna give you guys both a little bit and you guys can just cut to your heart's content. Okay, go for it. That's what you guys have been waiting to do this whole time. You just cookie cut while Mommy makes the crust. If I have one tip for you when your kids are cooking with you, it's to give them another job to do that really maybe doesn't even have to do with the recipe, just to keep them busy if you need to get some things done, like this. Cookie cutting will keep them busy for a long time. All right, we're getting close. I just want to make sure this goes all the way up my sides. And
Mommy, I want you to cook this.
I will totally cook that. Look at that cute little acorn. You want to show everybody on camera? Hold it up. Look, it's a cute acorn. We usually do little leaf shapes, but again, I think they might be in my office. I have made about 1 billion trips to my office since quarantine. It's where I do a lot of my cooking usually because I'm testing recipes, and so I realized my kitchen here wasn't as stocked as I wanted it to be. Okay, we're pretty good there. So whether or not you're using a tart shell like this or you are using a pie plate, I'm gonna steal just a little bit of your dough. You don't want to see the bottom of the pie plate. I also don't love my crust to be crazy thick though either, because I want it to be a good ratio of crust to filling. So I would say about 1/4 inch thick or so if you're rolling it out, or if you're pushing it out, just kind of try to eyeball it and make it as even as you can. And you definitely want it to be even or else it'll bake unevenly and you'll have some parts of the dough that are kind of raw. Okay.
Danielle, can you freeze this pie dough?
Yes, so I just pulled this right out of the freezer from Thanksgiving. It works great. I stuck it on the counter about an hour ago just to let it thaw but still be somewhat chilled while we're working with it. Your hands are going to warm it up quite a bit, as we saw with Easton rolling it out.
Hey,
so
you're not allowed to do that.
I have to take a little bit, otherwise our crust is gonna fall apart when we pop it out. So if it starts to get too, I'll take some of Kezia's. If it's just a little bit. If it starts to get too warm, just pop it back in the fridge and chill that fat. Oh, okay, I won't. All right, I am going to put this in the oven and then I'll show you.
Can we switch now?
Yes,
please?
okay, because it's time for Easton to get the pumpkin and you to get the acorn. We'll switch back in a little bit. Oh, this is coconut oil, or I mean coconut milk, excuse me. Hold on a second. So that is for our egg wash. And
I want the pumpkin.
listen, you're gonna go out if you can't share, okay? We talked about you guys taking turns. Look how cute that is. It's an acorn, like on an oak tree, like the book we read.
Mama,
Yes.
pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Sorry, you guys, it's all a little bit all over the place today. This is cooking with children. What was I going to say? Egg wash. So once you cut your shapes out, brush them with coconut milk and an egg yolk. That just helps the crust actually get kind of flaky. And then I do it on this once I've par baked it, which is what we're going to do first before we add our filling. I'll brush it with the egg wash as well, and then add my filling. And it just helps the crust be really nice and kind of crispy when it comes out, and golden brown. Okay, you're being a little whiny. I think it might be time for a nap. Okay, I'm gonna put this in. We'll show you guys the finished product later. This needs to bake for a bit and then cool before we put our filling in, and that's just so it doesn't get too soggy. So, all right guys, look at this cute little pumpkin. Okay, so cute, our little shape. So we'll show you guys the finished product a little bit later on my stories. Goodbye everybody. Oh, questions, yes.
She would love some great healthy sugar cookie recipes. I think you have one.
I do. In the same book, in Celebrations, I have my cutout cookie.
You want the pumpkin?
Excuse me.
I don't want.
You're going to get to have it back in a minute. If you can't not pout, you're gonna go out. Can you just wait for a second? Look, in the same book, in the Christmas chapter is my cutout cookie recipe. I do have one on my blog. If you don't have this book, you can go there and get that one for free. It's slightly different. I've modified it over the years and improved upon it a little bit. So that's in this book on page 311. We will probably make these for our Christmas week next week at some point. So stay tuned. So I actually have a royal icing alternative in there as well. That doesn't, yeah, we probably should. We probably should. All right. By the way, if you happen to be doing this on a tart pan like I am with a removable bottom, I highly suggest putting it on top of another pan because this crust is slightly greasy and you don't want the oils all dropping down into your oven. So, okay. Okay, Easton, your turn to give back the pumpkin. Those look great. Here we go. Trade. Okay, see you guys later. Hope you're all doing great at home with your little kids, breaking up fights and preventing meltdowns. Bye.